Good morning. This is a supplemental with a card that I forgot from the last deck. It's called Pyramid of Light, Step Your Vibration Deeper into Love. So this is the card. As a being growing in significant light, darker energies can become more attracted to you. There is nothing to fear and only more mastery and awareness of the power and protection of divine love to experience. Here is guidance on the skills you have within you now to deal with any undesired interface. The Pyramid of Light confirms that energies have been causing interference with your path, and it is time now to end that interference with love and compassion. I have so much to say about this. Okay. This oracle brings you confirmation that you are growing spiritually, and thus there are higher levels of responsibility and skill required of you to continue to thrive and blossom to a deeper place of spiritual expansion. These new levels will feel joyful to you as they bring you greater personal mastery and freedom from fear. Sometimes when you're growing in your light, dark energies become more interested in you. This is nothing to be afraid of because no energy can interfere with you without your permission. If you have unconsciously given permission by action or deed in this or other lifetimes, you have free will to withdraw that permission from any place of peace and love within you. The key to handling any negative energy effectively, even that energy which you no longer wish to have connected to you, is to have compassion in your heart combined with a firm boundary and understanding of the principles of psychic protection. These practices are easy and helpful for you to use to nurture your light. Oh, I have done this card. Well, I'm going to do it again. So the key piece here is that, I think that's why it came back up again, that protection piece. So I can't tell you how many times it's happened to me in my life, and it was a real turning point when I finally figured it out, that every time I started to go through a huge shift vibrationally, where I was really coming into that next piece of knowing, that next piece in my path to get me to the place where I am today. And I will have more shifts that will get me into tomorrow and many tomorrows in the future. Is that right before that shift, or right at the beginning of that shift, all of a sudden it felt like I was being attacked. And I was being attacked. I was attracting that negative energy towards me because I needed to release, find compassion, find that love, and create that boundary with that next level of negativity, that fear-based response attraction. And I needed to let it go. And having compassion for the other entities that have brought that into my awareness is great. And I can look at all those experiences now and I can say, yes, they were really, really hard. But I am truly grateful for them because they led me to the place where I could truly unravel all the pieces that I needed to unravel to come into that place of awareness where I could be me fully in a space, in a room with all these other entities. And that is a beautiful place to be. It is scary to get there because you truly have to look at all this negativity and all the perceived attacks and all of these other people's fear that they're attacking you with. And you have to understand that that's just where they're at. And it's nothing about you. It's not about you. What your responsibility is when you recognize it, to show compassion, show love, unconditional love, and allow yourself to be in that place of grace where you can let that go. You can let the attachment go. You can let their fear at you, towards you go. You don't have to own that. That doesn't belong to you. And you can unwind the attachments to so many things in your life. And sometimes those traumas are layers and layers and layers, right? So say something bad happened to you, and you were physically harmed. You have trauma in your body, you have trauma in your field, you have trauma in your central nervous system, your endocrine system, your your flight or fight trauma response system, every time that gets triggered, you go back there. And you may go back there for decades. And there's nothing wrong with that. Accept that, come at that new bubbling up, that new experience with compassion and love and self-love. Tell yourself you forgive yourself. Tell the universe that you are releasing any kind of attachment karma to that circumstance, and you are not going to hold on to that fear because it doesn't belong to you. And there are experiences that it's going to feel like you have these huge releases and you're like, oh, I finally figured it out. I've gotten past it. It's gone. I will never have to deal with that again. And then it bubbles up later. And the human part of you, the physical manifestation here goes, I thought I got rid of that. I thought I worked on that. Why does it hurt so much again? Because how we experience things is in layers. And so many times those layers are spiritual, physical, energetic. And there's a brain part. There's trauma in the brain that you have to go back and heal that brain chemistry. You have to heal those synapses. And the brain and the body you are a layered, onion layered entity. You're an entity that comes into a gifted organism. Your body is a gift from Mother Earth. You've chosen a blueprint that's very complex. The organism in which you live is a very complex electric organism. It's a water body. Water has memory. And there's so many layers of who you are as a quantum entity, tapped into the quantum layering of who you are. So of course you're not going to be able to get past a traumatic experience in one go. You might be able to get through a lot of an experience in one go, but every time it bubbles up, if you bury that back down going, no, I dealt with that, you're not really dealing with it. You have to allow it to come through, and you have to allow that experience to bubble through and really give it the attention and the healing and the nurturing that you need to give it. I had a recent experience where a dear person in my life passed, and I can't tell you how sad it made me, but also how joyful, because I know that she is happy now. I know she is out of that body that she had such trouble with and she was so uncomfortable with. And as a result, I had gotten a package in the mail from the executors of her will. And they sent me back all these things, letters and some items that I had sent her. And I know that on their part, some of that was not heartfelt. It was retaliatory. But I didn't take it that way. I took it as, thank you very much for gifting this back, so I can in turn hold these memories tight and return a gift to another person from the gift that I gave her, so that it stays within the family and it stays with people who would cherish not only the meaning but the heartfelt connection that I had with this person. And I have allowed myself to go through the cycles of the grief again of not having biological family that recognizes who I am, and having biological family that I can't connect with, and having layers and generations of biological family that are stuck in a trauma karma loop, and giving them grace and compassion and release that I'm not here to fix that in that biological family loop. I am not here to fix that unless they choose to have that healing. And that's their journey, not mine. And that's okay. And it doesn't mean that I'm ahead or behind, or I'm being I'm better than they are. That is not any of this. It is recognition in a place of grace that I can grieve for them and I can love them from afar, but still have very clear boundaries as to what I'm willing to take on that has nothing to do with me and what I'm not willing to take on. And the things that I'm not willing to take on is their judgment and their perception of me. I'm not willing to take on their fear and their angst and their trauma. I am only willing to carry my own journey. And if they choose to ask for help, of course I'll be here. But until then, I hold my boundaries and I walk my path with truth and honesty and clarity. I'm not ahead. I'm not behind. I'm just exactly where I'm supposed to be. And so that pyramid of light idea, the idea that you can step into your vibration in your house, in your body with love, and hold that boundary of light and still allow the people to have their choice and their journey on their own, the way they want to see it, and it still be okay. And these are all beautiful things. So that's today's card. I thought I had not done this one, but apparently I had. I just not written it down, but I'm glad I did it again. So I hope this supplemental day, this card is helpful to you. Have a blessed day, and I will see you in prayer.